Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here with ddStamps.com, and today I'm going to show you how I did this card. It's actually very easy. It just looks very complicated, but it's a very fun card to make. It would make a great sympathy card or a Mother's Day card, or just thoughts of you card. And so to get started, I cut up some of my designer series paper to 4x4 squares, and then I'm going to take a piece. Just have a rectangle piece here of cardstock, and I'm going to bring in my Big Shot. And to begin with, I'm going to use my magnetic platform, a piece of plastic, my paper, and then I'm going to take one of the framelits out of the Windows frames. It's this one here. I have a tendency to use this one the most. And I'm going to line that up on my magnetic platform. And the nice thing about the magnetic platform is you can put it exactly where you need it and it's not going anywhere. It's not going to slide off there because it's magnetic, so it's holding on to it. And I'm going to cut out the window. Should have got some of the stuff out of the way before I got started. I'm going to run that through the Big Shot. And then I'm going to take the piece, and actually this piece I'm just going to save for another card, and actually I'm just using this frame next. And the frame is going to go into an embossing folder. So I'm going to lay that into the embossing folder. Put it between the two plastic plates. Bring in my platform. I like to use my embossing folders with the pages all the way open, unless I'm looking for a really deep embossing, but I like it that way. I'm gonna run this through. And then you'll see where I have this piece done, embossed and ready to go for my card. So there's another piece done. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with my lattice die. And so a plastic plate, the lattice die, a piece of cardstock to go over the top of that. And just so you know, this lattice die is retiring at the end of this catalog. So this is at the end of this month, which is May of 2013, and there it is still available, and it's one of those dies that I just recently started to play with and really like. But I'm going to pull this out, and then all these little pieces come out. And then I've got a piece ready to go into for my card. So I'm done with my Big Shot. I can put that out of the way for now. And I'll come back in here, gather up all my pieces, and make sure I have everything. Great. So to get this card put together, it's actually very easy. What I did is I took my mini glue dots and my lattice piece. And what I'm going to do is on each corner of this lattice piece, I'm going to put a mini glue dot on all four corners. And I'm going to lay that down on my paper, which is probably kind of difficult to see because it's white on white. But then I'm just, as you can see, I'm just lining up those corners of the lattice piece with the corners of my framelit piece, and then laying that down. And that's how you get the front of your card. And then what I'm going to do is flip that over, and I'm going to come in So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip that over, and I'm just going to come in with some dimensionals. And of course these are white too, so I hope that you can see them. And I'm just putting dimensionals, 2 here and 2 here, and I'm going to pull those off. This is just going to give a little background so that it's raised up a little bit on the background of my card. And then I'm going to come in with my designer series piece of paper. And I decided that I wanted the yellow side to show through on this particular piece. And when I lay that down, then you'll see how that's how you get your background. Now I didn't line it up very good, but I've got a scissor here so I can just trim off. Just trim the edge of that Designer Series paper if it hangs over a little bit. And then this is going to get put on. I'm going to use up my edges here of my dimensionals. So 2 at this end and then 2 at this end. I'll straighten this one up. There we go. And then pull these off. My card base, which I actually cut 4 1/4 by 11, scored it at 5 1/2, and then this is just going to go right on top of that. And there you've got your base of your card. Then I'm going to come in with a scrap of the Whisper White cardstock and one of the stamps from the Petit Petals, a little crisp cantaloupe. Crisp cantaloupe cardstock, or crisp cantaloupe ink, excuse me. And I'll stamp 3 flowers, bring in the punch that coordinates. I love how these line up, and I always use them upside down so that I can see exactly where I'm punching. Just like that. And then I'm going to come in with a few more, I'm going to cut up a few more dimensionals. And you don't really need a ton of adhesive on these flowers because they're so tiny. But what I want to do is I want to make sure that when I put this adhesive on here, I'm actually getting it onto the lattice work, the lattice die, and not over the edge, because I want that lattice die to kind of stand up a little bit from the card base, so you get that dimension. So that's why I cut these so tiny. And then you can pull off the top, put a flower on. I'll do the same thing up here. And then the last one, I'm actually going to put right on the edge of the cardstock here. So a little grouping of 3. Just like that. And then if I come in with a couple of pearls, we'll really set that off. I'll bring in my pearls. I'm going to use some of the little tiny ones. I don't know if you can see how I'm getting that on the end of the scissor, so that I can transport it over to the card. Put it where I need it. Abby! And then the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with a sentiment, and I'm going to use Loving Thoughts, this one here. Thoughts of You. I seem to be using that stamp set a lot. Line that up there. I'm just coming in with a strip, just a small strip of cardstock, and I'm going to stamp that sentiment right onto that strip. And I don't really have to worry about getting it too lined up, because then I'm going to come in with our little banner punch and slide it into the background there, weave it through the back. Oops, I don't like how that measured up. And cut your banner, and this way you can cut banners as big or as little as you need them or want them. And again, a couple more dimensionals. Couple more dimensionals, and the card is done. Just a really fast, easy, bright, sunshiny card. that you could do with any paper in the background. So I hope you enjoyed that, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Otherwise, have a great day. Thank you.